Hello everyone and welcome to the Something About Film for Polaroid SX-70 Instant Color Film Packs. This video discusses the Polaroid SX-70. This is the modern Polaroid SX-70 Color Film and looks at how to use it, the film's characteristics, technical details, and sample images. SX-70 Color Film is a medium film rated at around 160 to 170 ISO, and that depends on the source that's quoted. Though the current iteration on my camera at least overexposes images about 3/4 to 1.5 stops unless I adjust the sensitivity dial. My best tip for this film is to graduate into it from another instant film camera and system. SX-70 film is a bit more touchy than Fuji Instax film. It's less forgiving. It's also a bit more expensive. At around $3 to $4 per shot, that's in 2024 as I record this, this is not a film that you want to jump right into without an idea of how instant film behaves. Next up, when you get your first pack of this, take a test shot and see if it's too bright or too dark. For me, this film consistently delivers overexposed results, even with adjustment of the EV compensation dial on my SX-70 camera. But I only have one SX-70 camera, so I can't tell you if there's a problem with my camera's light meter or if the film just tends to overexpose, and such is the problem with a sample size of 1. So take a test shot and dial in a good EV comp setting if you need to, and just remember about where that is when you pick up your next pack of film. Lastly, on the current crop of this film, as of 2024, it tends to skew cool, and it looks a lot like Orwo color film stock. This is a change from the SX-70 film that I bought in 2021, which skewed warm. These cool tone photos you're seeing right now are how the photos looked out of camera. These photos you see now are from the film I bought in 2021. So something has changed. Possibly available chemistry or maybe the source of film coating. I honestly don't know. This is really just an observation. Grain is not applicable because this is a full-size positive image, and there's no apparent image grain because there's no enlargement ratio. Tonality and tonal and dynamic range are limited, and both shadows and highlights clip easily. This film works best in flat light, and that yields a very pleasant result in terms of tonal range. Sharpness and acuteness are super low compared to most films, and this is part of that look that SX-70's film stock provides. For portraits, this is a great film, and it really shines brightest there. Also, the general softness in the images evokes a sense of memory or of dreams, and that image aesthetic can be hard to capture artificially, which is to say, taking an otherwise perfect photo and recreating that look in post. Contrast is strong by modern film standards. Digital conversion is a bit tricky because the images are typically glossy. By typically, I mean always. Anyway, you could scan these on a flatbed, yes, but to digitize them with a camera, you will need to have lights at an angle between the front of the camera and your images. These lights need to be placed there to prevent your camera's reflection from being in the photos, and they also need to be angled to prevent glare from the lights from appearing in your images when you digitize them. Polaroid SX-70 Color Film is a unique format, unique image, and unique medium that allows a great deal of creativity. While we didn't discuss it in this short video, techniques for removing images and applying them to other surfaces can make the Polaroid format even more interesting. For me, Polaroid is a great challenge because it's a single chance to take a captivating photo, and because there's a magic to the slow change the image makes from blue to a blued form and then to a final image. But beyond that, I love the look of Polaroid photos. Their softness that feels like the sunrise morning memories of an overnight dream. The feel of the physical image in your hand, and the anticipation as the photos rest in your pocket or camera bag as they develop. SX-70 film is not without its flaws, such as the amount of post-consumer waste that a film pack produces. I've removed the aluminum springs and dropped them in my recycling, and I hope they are recycled. I break apart the plastic tray to save the battery and send it for recycling too. Polaroid, unfortunately, seems to me to wash their hands of the film packs and just provide some tips on how to recycle them, vice having a program to test and reuse them and recycle the ones that are beyond salvage. There's a link in the video's description to Polaroid's webpage on how to deal with finished film packs, and let me know if I'm off base on my perception that Polaroid could do more. All that said, while I love SX-70 film, and while I will someday make a video about the black and white SX-70 film too, I do not plan to continue using Polaroid after that because of the waste. Today's Polaroid is not the Polaroid of old, and today's Polaroid seems to be much more conscientious about their waste streams. The old Polaroid, back in the days of the land cameras, walked away from their waste streams faster than a shoplifter from a convenience store. In fact, during the prime days of Polaroid use, the waste stream was so ubiquitous it had its own name, Pola Waste, that referred to the parts of the film packs and film and their chemicals on them that were simply thrown away after making a single photo. To this end, Polaroid could take a cue from Fuji, which I'll acknowledge is a much larger company with many more resources. Fuji does offer a US-based recycling program for people who live in municipalities that do not recycle film packs. And if you'd like to see how Fuji handles their film packs versus Polaroid, this video's description also contains a link to Fuji's website on the subject. Ultimately, Polaroid SX-70 film provides photographers with a unique look, feel, and image aesthetic that cannot be replicated artificially. For that, I'm always excited to see one of my Polaroid photos, even if it doesn't turn out. Hey, and if you enjoyed this video, check out this other one you'll probably really like too.